Did y'all see the fucking the depositions?
Well, Hillary Clinton and Bill.
And yeah, and Bill, they out now.
Now,
They
I
got a little
didn't watch
compilation
them,
here.
but I saw like a little snippet of it. I kind of had a feeling what she was gonna say, so I didn't watch it.
I mean, as far as Hillary's concerned, I don't see no reason for her to fucking be there.
That's why I kind of figured it was gonna go. She kind of like made it obvious that like man, I got nothing to do with that stuff. So now it's kind of like man to actually
To
insult
embarrass
her
her.
and
Yeah.
antagonize her. And she knew that too. So and before they tried to get that started, she stopped and like, come on, man. Like I'm not gonna play this game with y'all.
You know what though? Watching this, I ain't see the whole thing either. I saw a couple. I saw when it opened up with the picture thing, and I saw the Nancy Mace interaction. Um, should have been a great president, man.
Hell yeah, she would have been because she was strong.
Should have been a great president. Like
Yeah,
I was like, and this is years and years later. Like she's even older than what she was. You know what I'm saying? But
she was sharp. She was quick.
yeah, yeah. Like
But she
you
played,
know,
she she
the
cosplayed
witness,
for
please
fucking people, and
state
she
her.
was wrong for that.
you said what?
You know, she went up against a unbelievably great president, so it put her in a category. Yeah, I remember she was running up against Obama originally, right? So it left a
Hmm.
stain in everybody. How you remember her? Um, she said, you know, she's the Watergate girl shit. So that left a stain right there. You know, the Bill
The
Gates white
Watergate
chick.
girl shit.
Yeah, it's way long time
So
ago. It's a long time ago. She 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 played she was in certain situations where man people would kind of remember her. So when she went against Donald Trump, he was just ignorant to her and she was always on the defense. So you never get to see how she really was. I think man she became Secretary of State, so she left the United States. So we didn't get to see her, you know, as what she was doing in Congress. When Obama made her Secretary of State, she was kind of like away from Congress, always on the road,
mhm.
always meeting with heads of states and shit like that.
Out of the public eye.
Exactly. So you never get to see her as that, you know, that great speaker or the great negotiator or just a sound sturdy person.
I think they didn't explain that Benghazi shit well enough. They didn't explain the
That
email shit
all,
well enough.
yep, all
And
that shit she got caught up in with
and
dumb shit.
and that goddamn indictment came right before election day.
Yeah, yeah. All the perfect storms around her was created, and she still held fast because she's like, man, y'all don't know the half. When her documentary come out, you can like, oh shit,
If,
damn.
if 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 you really go back and look over what happened in Benghazi, the fuck was she supposed to do?
Yeah,
If you go back and look at the email shit, yeah, I ain't running my personal shit out there, so yeah, I erased my shit.
yeah. Kind of
You
like
know
what
what I'm
they all do
saying?
now. Kind of what they all do now.
Well, them motherfuckers wearing Apple Watches, man. They showed a picture of them motherfuckers in a skiff. Motherfucker got on the Apple Watch in that bitch.
Yeah,
She didn't do that. She wasn't no skip for the. She just she, the motherfucker wanted to use a BlackBerry, man. That's all. She didn't want to use a brick. She wanted to use a BlackBerry.
I said the shit that they doing now ain't don't compare to what she did. It's not even no
Right.
comparison.
Oh shit.
What time is it?
DMC.
I think DNC might have left.
Oh shit. Nice to look
No,
at you. Hey
Yep.
yo, I talked to
no,
the
I'm
man the
here.
other day. He did We Gubby for a year. He said he dropped 60 pounds and damn near quit drinking.
What? What? Wait. Now, what?
The
What
weight loss
happened?
shots we was talking about, the weight loss
Uh
shots we
huh.
was talking about.
Uh
We talked to somebody who actually took it. He said he
huh.
lost
Uh huh.
60 pounds and damn near quit drinking.
Yeah. It also tones down other cravings.
Yeah. it make you just not like that no more. Like Cravens and shit like that. You say that type of motherfucker no more.
Who did that?
Dada.
Oh yeah, I was on the phone with him when he said that.
Yeah. Shit, I want this shit. I want this shit with smoking too.
Probably.
If I take that shit and make me lose weight, stop drinking, and stop smoking, I'm just a fucking member for life.
Why would you
Shit.
want to stop
Fuck
drinking
it.
and stop smoking?
I really don't want to, but if I'm it's unhealthy to do it. I like drinking, you know what I'm saying? But it's unhealthy.
I was thinking about that, and like, how much does it cost again?
Nigga, I found some shit here. I thought this the other day. It was okay. If you asked me this 2 days ago, I would have said here. I don't know about y'all. With no insurance, it's like $225 a month. I found some shit where I paid $450 and get a 4-month supply. Wait a minute, 4, 8, you get a 3 month supply.
Okay, now here's the thing, because I was reading up about one of them, the Wegovy, right?
Mm-hmm.
The final dose is 10 times stronger than the
original
initial dose, because it starts off at 0.25 and goes all the way up to 2.4 milligrams. If it's the injectable and you buy the 2.4 milligrams and just use 1/10 of what you're supposed to use,
no, it has a shelf life.
The shelf life is, what is it, 28 days?
Some shit like
unrefrigerated.
That, yeah.
It's 28 days unrefrigerated. If it's sealed, it's a year.
Yeah, but you're going to have to unseal it, motherfucker. Use it.
But what I'm saying is the higher dosage amounts. Well, I don't know, because I don't know, but
just follow the fucking
they only
protocol,
talk about.
See, you ain't gotta fucking fix. You gotta manipulate every goddamn thing.
It's not manipulating it, because when they like here, they have things where they're advertising micro doses. I'm pretty sure that's what that is.
A micro dose is what? So you use a
Yeah.
little bit of. The way I looked at it is like,
Yeah,
shit,
I
man.
did.
I take this shit like a fucking like motherfuckers how they take steroids. To this shit in cycles.
It is.
Once I get to the weight I want or whatever, I'm comfortable. I'll just go off that shit and go back on that shit and go off that shit and go back on that shit. And then hopefully my tolerance will drop to where I ain't got to use the super high doses every time.
Name for the record.
Hillary Rodham Clinton.
William Jefferson Clinton.
Is there any reason you were unable to provide truthful
And she look good, man.
testimony in today's interview?
No.
I don't believe so.
Former President Bill Clinton.
Man, Bill here went straight cocaine. Ain't no gray. That shit went straight white.
And former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton face off against a congressional committee.
You think they still fucking?
Say, is they?
So you think they still fucking?
Hell no. She stopped fucking that guy 10 years ago.
Nope.
Yeah, she probably she probably you dirty dick motherfucker, yeah.
Separate depositions on the Epstein saga, and we have some of the most fiery moments all caught on tape. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. By the way, if you're putting things out on social media, if you're into content creation, you might be wondering for this, okay? The videotape depositions of former President Bill.
That black lady a bad motherfucker. She was keeping shit straight, goddammit.
Clinton and his wife, former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, in connection with the Jeffrey Epstein investigation. This was conducted by the House Committee on Oversight and Government Reform. They were conducted in Chappaqua, New York, where the Clintons live. Let me just tell you, this doesn't really happen. and travel records, we knew that the Clintons were connected to Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. More specifically, that Clinton had traveled with Epstein for purposes of humanitarian work with the Clinton Foundation in the early 2000s after Bill Clinton left the office of presidency. And remember, this is before Jeffrey Epstein was charged in 2006 in Florida and ultimately pled guilty in 2008 to the state charges of solicitation of prostitution, including with a minor. Now, the reports indicate that Clinton had traveled on Epstein's private jet at least 24 times. This is per reporting by outlets like the BBC.
Was Clinton fucking with him at all after he got charged?
According to her, she said no.
No.
She said that she said she was cool way before that.
And by the way, a lot of this travel was actually set up through Ghislaine Maxwell, convicted sex trafficker, and Clinton's top aide, Doug Band. And to be clear,
I don't like watching this law and crime shit because the dude that's hosting is a goddamn MAGA motherfucker, but they put it together the best. So you know what I'm saying? I can't, you know.
there is no evidence, nothing in the files, nothing that's been released that suggests that Clintons were aware of any illegal activities or were a part of any illegal activities on the part of Jeffrey Epstein or Ghislaine Maxwell or had knowledge of Epstein's crimes. I just want to make that clear. And by the way, there was no evidence even that Bill or Hillary had visited Epstein's island. Now, having said that, a lot of this focus is on Bill Clinton rather than Hillary Clinton, right? I mean, remember, aside from the humanitarian work, you remember when photos were released? Him in a hot tub, him getting a massage or back rub. So with that being said, the committee released the videotaped depositions of both Bill and Hillary Clinton from last week. It's hours and hours worth of footage. We dissected to some of the more memorable parts of both of their testimonies on separate days, okay? Now, I've said this before, I'll say it again. I believe, okay, there is one thing to read about testimony. There's one thing to read the transcript of testimony. There is an entirely different experience actually seeing the testimony, the way somebody answers a question, the way they even respond, facial tics, body language. I think it's very, very important. Juries consider it all the time. Now, I'm not saying there's a jury here, but we're kind of like the jury, right? We're analyzing every aspect of this investigation. So to see the Clintons respond to these questions, I think adds element of value here, okay? Now, again, the House committee released both videos. Let's start with Hillary Clinton. This is her opening statement for the committee, and this is where she talks about a lack of transparency.
Let me be as clear as I can. I do not. As I stated in my sworn declaration on January 13th, I had no idea about their criminal activities. I do not recall ever encountering Mr. Epstein. I never flew on his plane or visited his island, homes, or offices. I have nothing to add to that. A committee run by elected officials with a commitment to transparency would ensure the full release of all the files. It would ensure that the lawful redactions of those files protected the victims and survivors, not powerful men and political allies. It would get to the bottom of reports that DOJ withheld.
She got to tell motherfuckers how to do their job, huh?
FBI interviews in which a survivor.
But she should be more specific at this point. She should be more specific in this time. Not saying they and she should say no. She should say the names. Pam Bondi.
Yeah.
And things like that. She should say their names so people can put them two and two together. Donald Trump. Also, she should say it. They took her up there to embarrass her. No, it's not the time to play politically correct. Lay into their ass 100%.
And it's like because now she said that this definitely should have been handled by a third party group. Ain't no way fuck this should have been like it should have been some third party fucking whatever. Like ain't no way fuck this should have been handled.
The DOJ is a third party. The DOJ is a third party. That's the crazy part. The FBI is a third party. The CIA is a third party. But under Donald Trump, he said, man, I want loyalty. He kept telling them that shit. I want 100% loyalty. They was like, man, what do you mean? Well, everybody else saying what do they mean, but what they knew what they meant. American, like, he just want them to be loyal. He don't want them to, he won't drain the swamp. No, he's saying he want corruption. And he wants them to be around, be with it.
You know, the fucked up part is now, like, Biden gets held, like, Biden gets criticized because he didn't do that.
Yeah.
Like, why didn't Biden have him go after them? Because it's independent party. It's independent part of the fucking government. It's not his job. But because he wasn't corrupt like your motherfucker is, he wrong for not being corrupt type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like a fucked up catch-22.
Well, remember I said, man, this president is not going to be the problem. The next president is going to be the problem.
We're gonna win this midterm, man. You know, Republican gonna be elected for the next 10 years. Really.
But man, what happens, man, when a Democrat man does the same thing Donald Trump does?
I don't think that a Democrat's constituency is gonna be with that. I don't want a president, even if he's doing stuff that I like, I don't want him doing it. We're not MAGA. Well, not yet. They're working on making niggas MAGA. We're not MAGA.
Just imagine if a Democrat man started doing things, man, for his own political gain. But man, some of the things he do, man, you like, man, I like what he did. But then he started doing these crazy shits, making crazy ass deals, making crazy ass amounts of money. You like, hey man, but he did this and he did that. You know, he lowered this, he lowered that. But then come to find out he did some foul shit.
Yeah,
man,
but
you
see,
arguing them same points that yeah.
I don't think that being like on this side of political schedule or table is part of our internal identity. Like, but here, talking to these old white MAGA motherfuckers, this ideology has become part of their identity. I thought about the incident I had with that dude the other day. I was thinking about it. I was walking through it in my head, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have been talking for like 20 minutes. He left, came back, and then we was talking for like maybe an hour. It was like a 20-second period in that time where I said, "Oh yeah, that's the motherfucker I was calling me. They called me the N-word and shit, right?" And we went right back to the conversation. He brought that up later. I didn't bring it up again. He brought it up later, and it bothered him. It bothered him that I called that out. And all of our interactions when I'm talking to that man, I'm saying, you know, like, I'll get you the A side, man, and I'm sorry to hear this, or I'm happy to hear this. And when he said him and the girl's doing good, I went, yeah, that's cool, man. I'm happy to hear that. He said it didn't work out. Well, yeah, man, that's fucked up. I've been a positive and supportive individual to discuss things with. He reduced me to all you talk about is race. We don't have that thing with us where you mention something that I don't necessarily agree with or I don't like or makes me uncomfortable, that I should reduce you to that. That's a MAGA thing. I don't think it will work with us. Because I don't think it worked with me. It doesn't frame my identity to be a part of this group. It frames their identity to be a part of that group. That shit is fucking. That MAGA shit crazy.
Yeah.
Accuses President Trump of
Unless you
crimes.
blue MAGA like DMC.
It would subpoena anyone who asked on which night there would be the wildest party on Epstein's island. It would demand testimony from prosecutors from Florida, New York, and the Department of Justice about why they gave Epstein a sweetheart deal and chose not to pursue others who may have been implicated in his crimes. But that's not happening. Instead, you have compelled me to testify, fully aware that I have no knowledge that would assist your investigation in order to distract from President Trump's actions and to cover them up despite legitimate calls for answers. If this committee is serious about learning the truth about Epstein's trafficking crimes, it would not rely on press gaggles to get answers from our current president on his involvement. It would ask him directly under oath about the tens of thousands of times he shows up in the Epstein files. If the majority was serious, it would not waste time on fishing expeditions. There is too much to be done. This institutional failure is designed to protect one political party and one public official, rather than to seek truth and justice for the victims and survivors, as well as inform the public who want to get to the bottom of this matter. My heart breaks for the survivors, and I am furious on their behalf.
Now, I mean, it seems that the argument is she's referring to those in the Trump administration, right? People who appear in the Epstein files that are not being properly investigated in her view, like Howard Lutnick, former neighbor of Jeffrey Epstein, United States Commerce Secretary. And by the way, he's a bit controversial because there were communications that would suggest he really didn't cut off contact when he said he cut off contact with Jeffrey Epstein, but also really focusing on President Donald Trump, right, who appears multiple times in the files, has faced
what's this blue MAGA stuff?
Allegations of abuse within.
What's this blue MAGA?
I'm talking about Chico. I want to talk about you, man. We all know you're not blue MAGA.
In past public statements, as in 2017 speeches and interviews, you described Pizzagate as a basis.
Wait, this is Hillary Clinton?
Theory, alleging you and others child sex
this is her
trafficking
actual
from a Washington pizzeria.
testimony?
Yeah.
Have you reviewed any 2026 Epstein files that were released that you believe reference or
Why would Hillary Clinton be
specific 2016
looking at the Epstein files?
regarding the Podesta email pizza used as code possibly?
I'm sorry, you're asking her about whether she's reviewed emails in the Epstein files which relate to the wacky Pizzagate scandal.
You could characterize it however you want. I just would like to know if she's familiar with any of them.
So excuse me, your question is about whether or not she has reviewed any emails in the Epstein release files about Pizzagate.
Correct.
Pizzagate was totally made up. It was an outrageous allegation that ended up hurting a number of people, that caused a deranged young man to show up with his assault rifle and shoot up a local pizzeria. I can't believe you're even referencing it. You should be.
There are connections to the language.
Well, the QAnon people believe there are. So
I don't know what QAnon people believe.
Have at it.
But you've accused certain parties, and I think even right now today, of promoting slow walking or information in ways that fuels conspiracies. In your view, did any Epstein-Maxwell related investigations or file handling pre or post 2019 contribute to or intersect with the spread of Pizzagate style theories about Democrat figures?
Objection.
I have no way of answering. That is the most
speculation.
Ridiculously.
Have you or your representatives identified any Epstein file content that has been misinterpreted online to revive those claims? And what steps, if any, have you taken to clarify?
Again, object on the ground of.
Who's asking that question?
This is all very reasonable.
Well, first of all, I don't follow the crazy conspiracy stories that are online. I regret that anybody does. I find it quite sad, but also disturbing that people would believe some of what is put forth, like Pizzagate. So I have taken no steps to review anything that might have any connection to something which I think is totally bogus.
John Podesta, your 2016 campaign chair, appears in some Epstein file contexts, social overlaps or mentions. Were you aware of any of the Podesta-related communications in the released files?
Can you please provide examples or the evidence that you would like us to review, or the exhibits that reflect that?
I can get some exhibits and pause this question in the meantime.
When you provide those?
I will get those, and I will skip that question until we can.
Generally, if she's aware.
Generally, she is asking if she's aware of specific information that is in the files that you all are relying on. Please provide the witness with copies of that material.
If the client doesn't know or has no recollection, she's welcome to state so.
we're also welcome to actually see the information that you're speaking to.
Again, the representative is asking general.
I mean,
general
really,
questions.
I expected a lot of interesting questions today, but Pizzagate was not on my list.
That's okay. We're asking all sorts of things here.
You certainly are. You certainly are.
We're just trying to get the truth out to the American people
Well, that
and
would
give
be
some clarity.
very helpful.
Are you aware of any files that were on Anthony Weiner's laptop in a folder that was titled?
Are you aware of
like,
any files that was on Anthony Weiner's laptop in a file? Well, why the fuck would I know?
insurance with a zip file titled Frazzle?
This is way outside the
chairman's
scope.
ruling.
This
Is
is
this
way
within
outside
the
the
scope?
scope.
Is this within the scope, Mr.
If
Chairman?
the chairman rules that it's not within the scope, I
Mr.
have
Chairman,
other
based on
questions.
what you
I wanna see
said
the whole
in the
goddamn
public
thing.
hearing, is this within the scope?
We can go off the record for a moment.
Mr. Chairman, is this within the scope?
We'll go off the record and can talk.
That was a shit show.
This is fucking. Wait a second now. They're gonna sit there and ask her about Anthony Weiner. What the fuck does that have to do with Jeffrey Epstein? What does Anthony Weiner's laptop, which is not her employee's laptop,
Right.
have to do with anything to do with Jeffrey Epstein? I mean, this is seriously just trying to bring shit up and throw up her past in her face in front of the American people.
Your husband cheated on you, right? She was like, yeah.
Uh-huh.
He had to settle out of court for such and such, right? She was like, yeah. And so like it had nothing, like it didn't even really lead to a question. It was like
it was just throwing her old shit back in her face in front of the American people.
Yeah. And then walk out and show you crying you're a rape victim and shit. And this is what you do to another woman and then call and then walk out with your head high. Like you didn't accomplish some shit. You want to beat down another woman in public for a win when you're supposed to be this advocate for women in this goddamn rape. Fake that bitch ain't get raped. That bitch lying.
Who?
Nancy Mace.
The administration is
a
and playing into the hands of traffickers. It would seek out advocates
and
law enforcement.
James want to let you know his Spurs beat your Pistons.
Ask them what support they need.
Number one in the
It would
East.
put forth legislation to provide more resources.
Hey, hope it made you mad. What do you mean? Who?
Should have. Best team in the league. This is the best record in the league. Not a mistake.
I don't know. I haven't been keeping up with the league. Do they have the best record?
Yeah, the best record in the East for sure.
How the Spurs doing?
So some small bullshit, Texas bullshit. Yeah, Detroit is 45-14, number one in the East. And okay, Thunder got them because they played more games. Spurs number 2 in the West.
Let's see. Yeah.
Assist your investigation in order to distract from President Trump's actions and to cover them up despite legitimate calls for answers. If this committee is serious about learning,
I got my YouTube back. Don't make me do a video disparaging the Spurs, man. I'll do a deep dive on. Don't.
Well, you say you're gonna do a video disparaging the Spurs?
I mean, I got my YouTube back. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I can do whatever the fuck I want. You know what I'm saying? I break down how the Spurs ain't shit. Wembanyama's a goddamn joke.
About Epstein's
What, you calling Wembanyama a joke?
Goddamn joke.
On press gaggles.
You put some bodies on him to keep him from whatever hoop. He can't do shit. They showed that it was like a week ago. He got exposed.
Get answers from our current president on his involvement. It would ask him directly under oath about the tens of thousands of times he shows up in the Epstein files. If the majority was serious, it would not waste time on phishing.
is tearing into their asses now.
Again, it was in the context of her being in a relationship with Ted Waite.
He did.
See, man, this broad over here, and she
Anyone else in the
halfway
family have a
clean,
relationship of some kind.
and
with
it's
Mr.
kind of
Epstein?
like, you know, like dishes to be done. I'm like, oh, hey, that's cool, but she don't clean, and she been coming over here every goddamn day, using up all my shit, and don't tell me when shit run out. Like me being older, that's a big deal now. Like at first I didn't understand when I was a kid. I reached to go make some goddamn broccoli, like goddamn butter gone. You can use up all the broccoli and ain't tell a motherfucker. That's some frustrating shit. I reach for some shit that's supposed to be there and it ain't there.
Well, that's my family. You asked about Bill and Chelsea.
And just to make clear for the record, have you ever met Jeffrey Epstein?
I do not
Jesus
recall ever
Christ.
meeting.
This woman didn't answer that question before. She didn't say she ain't never seen
I was
him.
told that he attended the White House that was put on by the White House Historical Association, but I have no recollection of that.
And only that one time at the White House Historical Association?
That's the only time that I'm aware of that I might have possibly been in the same room with him.
Did you have an
Just
initial
told you.
impression of Mr. Epstein?
I have no recollection of Mr. Epstein. I'm just told that he was in a room at a dinner that we were hosting for the White House Historical Association.
What was your understanding of what Mr. Epstein did for work?
I knew nothing about him. He was there as an invited guest by the White House Historical Association. That's my best recollection.
And no one else informed you of what Mr. Epstein did for work?
No, but we had hundreds and thousands of people who came to the White House. I was not informed of what people did or didn't do for work, especially someone that I never even had a conversation with.
Do you know who invited Mr. Epstein to the White House?
I can only tell you what I know, which is that he apparently was a guest invited by the White House Historical Association to attend a dinner to thank people who gave money to the White House Historical Association for the upkeep and maintenance of the White House. That's what I was informed of in preparation for coming here.
Yes, ma'am. And understanding we focused the last few questions on your time in the White House with President Clinton. After that time period of President Clinton's administration, did anyone ever tell you what Mr. Epstein did for a living?
I don't recall ever talking about Mr. Epstein. He was not on my radar. He was not somebody that I had any connection to.
When President Clinton was traveling with Mr. Epstein on Clinton Foundation business, no one associated with the foundation at that time discussed Mr. Epstein with you?
Not that I recall. I was not involved with the foundation. I was a senator from New York, and I was deeply committed to my work, and it became one of the most intense experiences of my life when we were attacked on 9/11. I was not involved with what was happening to create the foundation, to create the work that was done to get low-cost drugs for AIDS. I knew about the work. I didn't know about the details.
Understood. And to be clear, you never had any communication yourself with Mr. Epstein, whether that be face-to-face interaction, phone calls, emails, text messages?
You can answer it again.
I have no recollection in any way of ever having any conversation at the White House or in any other place or on any kind of device of any sort. I knew nothing about him.
And when did you learn of Mr. Epstein's 2006 indictment and subsequent arrest leading to his incarceration in 2008?
I have no idea. I was not paying attention. I was running for re-election in 2006. I ran for president in 2007, 2008. I don't know that I ever learned about it until much later when more things came out about it.
Understood. And when did you first learn of Mr. Epstein's arrest in 2019?
Probably when it happened, because it was headline news. I'm sure I, like everybody else, saw it in the press.
And in seeing that in the press, did you discuss Mr. Epstein or his case at the time with anyone?
I'm sure we did, because it was a, big story.
And Mr. Epstein died in custody following his 2019 arrest. When would you have learned of his death?
Whenever it was reported.
Going back slightly, a question. You said you likely would have talked to someone regarding his arrest in 2019. Who would you have discussed that with?
I really got nothing.
I mean, it was a big story, as you recall. It was a very big story. I don't have any specific recollections. It wasn't something that
They never had anything. It's apparently just to throw her past in her face in front of the public to distract and throw their hungry base some meat. Yeah.
Going back to, well, when did you learn of her arrest?
These are just horrible, horrible people, man. See, you think it's like,
I'm sure I did. It was another.
I'm some dude. These motherfuckers are the worst. It ain't about being pro-Democrat. It's about these people are so bad. These people are so bad that we actually need to.
You see my video?
Yeah,
I put the video up. Hold on, let me show you. We should have hung the Confederates. Now we have MAGA. I was trying to piss off MAGA.
Welcome to Deep Dive with the Boss. I just wanted to let you know that I hope you have a wonderful, fantastic, positive day.
Who's that, AI? You have AI
this is
announcer?
one of Deep Dive with the Boss. But I use my avatar. Detroit Boss 313. I've been in YouTube jail for about a week, but it allowed me the opportunity to do a little bit of research. And we kind of want to look at the origins of the conservative party and conservative ideology. And, we'll do a little deep dive here.
God bless our heroes.
Let's go back to Germany, right? Let's go on Germany today. If you go to Germany today, you fly the flag of a Nazi, you go to jail. In America, you fly a Confederate flag, you can run for Speaker of the House. We've been told that healing a nation or moving past a problem requires moving on. If you're too harsh on the losers, you create a permanent enemy. But if you look at the structural architecture of history, like, accountability isn't a burden, it's an engine for progress. Let's go to 1945, right? If you, the world looked at Germany, they didn't see a partner for peace. So, after World War II, Europe, America, all these places, we didn't see a partner for peace in Germany. We saw a machine that needed to be dismantled so a better one could be built. This is called, in this case, denazification. They didn't go around burning books. It's a process, right? It's called illustration. This is the legal removal of every official from the old regime, from the Nazi regime. They're removed from the courts, the schools, and the bureaucracy. Overall, during this process in Germany, 8.5 million party members, they were removed from every job that influenced the public mind. In the 1950s, right, they had the economic miracle. In German, it's called Wirtschaftswunder. They transformed from like literally a pile of rocks, because they were totally destroyed in World War II, into a global superpower in one generation. What they did was they cleared the tracks. They didn't have a secession party in their ear telling them to look backward. They didn't have the Daughters of the Confederacy putting up statues and misrepresenting history to make the traitors and the losers look like heroes. They didn't have a shadow government trying to reboot the 1940s. They focused 100% of their national energy on innovation, because they had the courage to rip out the progress break and throw it in the trash. When I say progress break, I'm saying this is like a break on progress. This is somebody grabbing on or pushing a brake to stop the progress of a nation. Now, if we look at America in 1965, unfortunately, we did. I better say 18. Exactly. I said 18. I said 19.
Like,
we had our version of the economic miracle. We had a plan for America to move forward in a positive manner. It was called the Freedmen's Bureau. How the Freedmen's Bureau worked was, it was like an operating system, but it was like a social operating system. It established 4,000 schools. It created a public education system where none existed. It served as the federal court system using the army to enforce labor contracts. It was working. Black men went from the cotton field to Congress. They were being elected to Senate. We were building a high participation superpower that would have outpaced any other country in the world at about 1890. The thing is that the conservative Confederates didn't go away. They campaigned. What they did was they convinced the North to agree to the 1872 Amnesty Act. This was a legal pardon that returned political rights to 150,000 former Nazis, Confederates, or conservatives. We invited the enemy into the engine room. We gave the keys to the bureaucracy back to the people who had the inclination for treason. Because slavery was horrible, right? Slavery ended. Then we had, Reconstruction, and that was this time period where the policies of the Freedmen Act were put in place. Black Americans were flourishing. But then America betrayed the Black American with a thing called the 1876 Compromise. There was a controversy with the presidents, and the North wanted to get their guy into the White House. So they made a deal with the South and said, look, you give us the president, because what was happening is the North had troops in the South to guarantee the civil liberties of Black Americans. But with the presidential controversy, they made a deal. They said, look, give us the presidency, we'll pull the troops out. We'll stop protecting Black citizens. That's how we get 100 years of Jim Crow, rise of the KKK, lynchings. All of these things were going on because of this compromise that the North made to betray Black America. In Germany, you had Nuremberg trials. The losers went and got executed. In America, they went to Senate, to the Judiciary Committee. They started writing laws. It's 5 acts, but that's like the first one, you know what I'm saying? So basically, I'm just breaking down how the difference in how countries that remove that shit from their country, how they made progress immediately after. We didn't remove that from our country. And so we've been fighting them ever since the Civil War to try to move forward as a country. But we act like it's not an enemy faction. The conservatives are just Confederates. They're just the children of the Confederates. And then now we got fucking MAGA that is actively doing things that are detrimental to the country.
And they're trying to turn back. They're trying to turn back the civil rights laws.
Yeah.
They're pushing against civil rights. Yes.
Yeah. They're enemies of
But, even when that dude was talking about the party switch, it wasn't so much as the party switch places. The voters in one party went to a vote for another party. It wasn't like you won over the racist vote. That was the whole point of your campaign, was to win those people over. And the highest concentration of those people are in the South.
They did a study, it's in the video too, but they did a study in San Francisco. They say racial inequalities in America, they put a number on, like a dollar amount. $53 trillion. National debt is $36 trillion.
Racial inequality is 53. Oh, okay. Yeah. That makes sense.
And like I cover a concept called lost Einsteins, where we could have had the person that's going to create clean energy already, either in a trailer park or one of these, or in Detroit or in fucking Oakland. Because we had all these bullshit racial games, we'll never find out who that person was.
Look, man, I was talking to an Indian dude about that. I said, you know how much your caste system probably cost you guys in advancement? I said, man, the exact answer, man, you probably had a Einstein untouchable. And that, y'all were never able to take advantage of his genius.
Yep. He used to wear clean as shit his whole life.
Yep. He was the most brilliant shit cleaner
ever existed. And he probably could have came up with a new way to clean shit. But the way the culture is, shut the fuck up and clean the shit. Shut the fuck up. I want to hear you. Shut the fuck up and clean the shit. Yeah, but we do it like this. Shut the fuck up and clean the shit, goddamn. My daddy cleans shit this way. His daddy cleans shit this way. You gonna clean shit this way. Shut the fuck up. You get bored, check the video out. I break that shit down, man.
Forward in time just a little bit.
Which video?
You were Secretary
of State. Well, I was playing.
Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
That was the first act. It's five. I covered 5 different, angles on it.
That's correct.
How many have you made?
It's only one video.
Secretary of State. Did you return?
Wait, now what?
Clinton
That's the only one you made, that portion.
No,
are you done it all?
I just showed you Act 1. It's 4 more acts to this video.
Well, go ahead, tell the story.
Here you go. Well, here you go. If we look around and it seems like Americans just stuck in the mud, like, we gotta stop looking at like political parties. We gotta look at the anatomy of the sabotage. We gotta go back to 1830 because we gotta look at the past to understand the present. It was a guy named John C. Calhoun. He developed a doctrine called nullification. Like, he didn't just want to keep slavery. He wanted to build a legal framework that would allow a minority of elites to veto the progress of the entire nation. His logic was very simple. He said, look, if a state doesn't like a federal law, the state can just declare it null and void. We fought an entire war to kill that idea, but because we didn't do denazification or lustration, the idea just represented itself. It wasn't a thing. It became part of the conversation. It became part of the lexicon. So like today, what they do is it's a marketing rebranding. They'll call it state sovereignty or preemption, but it's the same mechanism. Whenever you hear a conservative politician scream about federal overreach, They're talking about the right to hold on to that progress break to stop America from moving forward. The losers are making the rules. The enemies are making the rules. The Nazis are deciding how the country is going to move forward. Here's an example, right? Let's go to Birmingham, Alabama, 2016. You got a black-led city, and what they did was they passed an ordinance to raise the minimum wage to $10 an hour, $10.10 per hour. This is a modest increase. This is a little bit of help for the working class. The conservatives in the state legislature, they saw a threat to their hierarchy. Within 16 days, they rushed through a preemption bill and they nullified it. They would rather the entire state stay poor than let a black-led city prove that higher wages can work. It's a psychosis. It's a zero-sum psychosis. If I gotta share a superpower with black people, I'd rather just destroy the superpower. They're not conserving anything. They're like a terrorist cell of Confederates, making sure that the U.S. never becomes the integrated superpower that it was meant to be. To work on my production value. This situation is not about feelings, you know what I'm saying? This is economic as well. The San Francisco Federal Reserve, they came to the conclusion that racial inequity has cost the U.S. economy $51 trillion in lost output since 1990. $51 trillion. Hold on one second. I'm going to pause for the cause because I want to see the current national debt. Oh, the current national debt is 38 trillion. And so racial inequity has lost 51 trillion since 1990. That far exceeds the national debt. You stop being fucking racist, we can have a solvent country. But they're the party of fiscal responsibility, right? You see, the thing is this, right? The thought process is that we don't know who the next Einstein is. The next Einstein could be in Detroit, could be in Chicago, Atlanta, Washington, D.C., Oakland. But the thing is that we got the structural racism where these individuals don't have an opportunity to reach their potential. So we never find out who the next Einstein is. The next Einstein could be, sitting in jail somewhere. There's a study, right? And so children from high-income families, they're 10 times more likely to become inventors than those from low-income families.
You about to
even
go?
when they have test scores. Because if you're from a
All right,
more
man.
or economically
All right, I'm
stable,
gonna be out in a minute myself.
you have the opportunity to do other things. You could be an Einstein just working at the post office because you're just trying to pay bills. And so it's a situation where we disenfranchise this group of people who lose the opportunity to have these great brains or minds who could be solving some problems that benefit everybody. Let's say the person who could have solved clean energy is born in Detroit, Chicago, Washington, D.C., whatever. The Confederate conservative ideology has been nullifying the opportunity for those individuals to be seen. The whole country loses. What we're doing is we're deleting our own future to protect like a 1800s social hierarchy. Now, how do I get a person who's working class, don't have the greatest education, how do I get them to vote MAGA? What they do is they use what we discussed earlier, zero-sum psychosis. An example of this is like in the 1950s, right? Neighborhoods and communities had these big, beautiful swimming pools. Public swimming pools, everybody could go, except black people. What happened is at some point, they were ordered to be integrated. So instead of people, and these working class people, instead of them enjoying the free, beautiful swimming pools with other working class people who happen to be black, what they did was they drained the pools. They filled them up with concrete. They would rather their family not be able to swim. Nobody gets to swim if we got to swim with those guys, with them black folks. And so they rob themselves just to make sure that other people can't enjoy what they enjoy. Zero-sum psychosis. There's a gentleman named Lee Atwater. He was a GOP strategist. And he was at a dinner. And he made a mistake and told the truth out loud. He says, you start off in 1954 saying nigger, nigger, nigger. But 1968, you can't say nigger, nigger, nigger. So you say stuff like forced busing, states' rights. You're talking about cutting taxes, and all these things sound like they're totally economic things. But the byproduct of them is that the blacks get hurt worse than the whites. This is them saying it out loud. He made a mistake. I don't know if he knew he was recorded or not, but he told the truth. They're not.
I think he was dying of brain cancer
money
at that time.
They're using economic. On that video, like where it shows it, it says he was at some dinner when he said it. He said it to a group of people.
Uh-huh.
And didn't you say when he was dying, he was on some like trying to save his soul shit?
I don't know if he's trying to save his soul or just coming clean, because dude, that motherfucker was a motherfucker, man.
Oh, dirty weed, boy.
Taking out Gary Hart, that was just taking out Gary Hart was that was the dirtiest of dirty tricks I done known about. I mean, just the way that.
Wait. That's the dirtiest of dirty tricks you've ever heard of?
Well, on a political level. I mean, just on a pure campaign level. To make it look like he spent the night on that boat with that woman, then to have a woman show up and hug and kiss him in front of the reporters. I was like, oh, shit. And then for him to say, and it was a woman he did not know. And all he could say was, I don't know this woman is, but the way she did it, it's like, no, you got to know this. A stranger wouldn't come up and kiss you like this.
It was like trading places.
Yeah.
She's like, Louie, at the courthouse and shit, as soon as this girl popped out.
Yeah, it was exactly like that.
Is there video of this?
It probably is. It probably somewhere exists.
Hold on, I might have to do one on this one. There's some video. Gary Hart.
Monkey Business was the name of the boat.
Oh shit.
They took his ass out in '88.
And depending on who you are, you may not
or
have.
Or was it '84?
Either way, every now and then, someone.
I got to do better with this, like how they showing like images that's going along with the story and blah 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 blah. Even though they're not showing video, it still make it easier to watch. You see what I'm saying? Like this is the part I got to figure. I got to figure this part out.
Political stage, looking like destiny, just handed them the crown, and then they blow it.
No video. Dad kills son to claim alpha male position in his household.
Bush. He was packing arenas. The press swooned. Voters leaned in. It was all coming together. But behind the scenes, Hart was playing with fire. Rumors had followed him for years. Affairs, arrogance, a secret personal life. Journalists whispered but never found proof. Hart mocked them for it, literally dared them, reality TV style. "Follow me around," he said. "You'll be bored." Big mistake, because one Miami Herald journalist, he wasn't bored. It's May 1987. Hart boards a yacht off the coast of Florida. Aboard the yacht is a woman named Donna Rice. Young, beautiful, and not his wife. There's champagne, cameras, sunshine, and someone still unknown to this day snaps a photo. In it, Gary Hart, 51 years old at the time, is sitting dockside during a trip to Bimini in the Bahamas. On his lap is Donna Rice, who was 34. It wasn't taken on a yacht itself, but on a dock during the same trip, aboard a boat named Monkey Business. Hart is wearing a t-shirt that reads Monkey Business Crew, and Rice, contrary to some of the scandalous rumors, is not scantily clad. She's wearing a white long-sleeve sweatshirt and a tennis-style skirt. The photo by itself looked almost innocent. That is, if Gary Hart had been single, but he wasn't. The photo leaks. The story breaks. Everything collapses. The press and the public latched on. This was no longer about policy or ideas. It was about character, honesty, and judgment. Hart denies any wrongdoing, claims the photo was innocent, but the media frenzy is unstoppable. He's grilled by reporters, humiliated by headlines, and there was an added story about Donna Rice visiting Hart's townhouse late at night and possibly sleeping over. So, just 5 days after the story hits, Hart drops out of the presidential race. His campaign, finished. His career, dead. All from one image. And it didn't even show anything explicit, just implication, suggestion, but that was all it took.
That reduces the press of this nation to hunters and presidential candidates to being hunted. That has reporters in bushes, false and inaccurate stories printed, photographers peeking in our windows.
Plus, the other floating rumors only made the situation worse. Hart went and convinced himself that he could weather this mess and tried to re-enter the race a month later, but it was way too late. Here's the sad part. Gary Hart was probably going to win. Political analysts say he had the charisma to get past Dukakis and beat George H.W. Bush. Some even argue he was the only Democrat who could have stopped the Bush dynasty from taking hold. Instead, Dukakis would get the Democrat nomination, but Bush would ride Reagan's popularity past him into the White House. Some still say, if not for that photo, the 1980s might have looked a little differently. Yep, they say a picture's worth 1,000 words. But sometimes, especially in this case, it's worth a whole presidency. Gary Hart's downfall wasn't just about infidelity. It was about ego, about daring the world to catch him, about believing he was too smart to fall. And in a single photograph, he did. Was it fair? Was it political sabotage? Did Atwater set Hart up, as said in his deathbed?
Yes.
Or was it just the truth? Caught
He
on
set him up.
reality? No picture. Most likely no downfall. Now, until Hart, the sex lives of politicians, including presidents, were largely considered.
The tabloid that made Trump destroyed a Democrat. Donald Trump is the country's first National Enquirer president. He is, but Gary Hart is remembered.
Man, that National Enquirer has an important fucking space. Because it's right there. When you check it out, you gotta wait. You need something to look at, and that stuff is right there.
Crazy
So when
ass
they put a
headlines and
head,
shit.
yeah. So when they put some shit up there like that, they got your attention. Like, dude, you couldn't pay for that. You know what I'm saying? Catch you at a bored moment where they can have your full attention and show you some crazy ass shit, or show you some shit. They are actual, with that spot, they are actual player in politics.
You're just sitting there. Like I remember that. They'd be right there.
What? It's right there, and you and it's your you waiting in line, so you bored.
Mm-hmm.
And it gets one, like, you know, there's no TV commercial that's going to have you in the same situation as you are with that National Enquirer. Yep. No matter how many millions you pay for TV.
And so is Bill Clinton an alien? Alien lover speaks out type shit. You know what the fuck?
I mean, they dogged the fuck out of Hillary Clinton in the 2016 election. It was right there. Hillary's dying. Dude. That conspiracy came out in Trump trial. The National Enquirer was supporting him, and that was the purpose of those headlines, because they know how valuable that real estate they have is.
Was, you know, you have air defenses and the lot's coming in and you hit most of it, and we absolutely do. We have incredible air defenders. Every once in a while you might have one, unfortunately we call it a squirter, that makes its way through, and in that particular case it happened to hit a tactical operations center that was fortified, but these are powerful weapons, so we certainly will do, as I said, moments like that, as we remember them and we take care of them and take care of their families, only stiffen our resolve to ensure that we do this properly.
Earlier this morning, former Fox News host and current defense secretary and alleged alcoholic, Pete Hegseth, conducted a wildly incoherent and disturbing press conference about Donald Trump's war against Iran, which, among other things, has resulted in the deaths of hundreds of civilian casualties in both Iran and Israel, and the confirmed deaths of 4 U.S. service members. And on that note, in perhaps the weirdest part of the entire press conference, Hegseth blamed those deaths on, quote, squirters. But before we unpack all that, if you end up liking this video and you want to support the channel, please be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and alert bells before you go. It's free and it helps us out in the algorithm. So let's jump right on into Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth's very strange and very tone-deaf and insensitive press conference.
You guys see that fight?
There's a fight?
No, I said, man, shit. I hate when you see the recommended videos and you click past it and you can't find it again.
Yeah.
Usually it'll still be on the list, but it'll just be lower at a different place. Definitely want to see that one. Dad kills his son to claim alpha male position in the household.
Is it Afghanistan?
No, I was fucking.
You cannot have 2 kids living in the same house.
Oh.
You can't, because it's a problem. He looked at me. I just lost it. Just lost it. I wish I had.
This 70-year-old man calling himself a king is George Albert Summers. Moments before being questioned, George was responsible for shooting and murdering his son, Sherrod Moore, because for George, his God complex and being an alpha male was more important than a human life.
I wouldn't be sitting there talking to you right now if you just moved the car. Total disrespect.
Now, in the interrogation we have for you today, you will witness one of the strangest.
I just want somebody to help me. Help me. Please help me.
And the most insecure killer these detectives have ever seen.
Oh, yeah, I'll help you to a cell. You helping yourself there.
I was someone with that. Listen, I was begging, man, begging.
On the afternoon of February 22nd, 2023, Anne Arundel County Police received a 911 call from a residence in Brooklyn Park, Maryland. The caller reported that one man had just shot another inside their home, and the shooter was still there, waiting outside. When officers arrived, they found 48-year-old Sherrod Moore lying inside with a gunshot wound to the head. sitting outside, with not a worry in the world, was 70-year-old George Albert Summers, Sherrod's stepfather. Paramedics rushed Sherrod to the University of Maryland Shock Trauma Center in critical condition, where doctors worked to save his life. But unfortunately, Sherrod did not make it. Meanwhile, officers back at the scene already had their suspect. George immediately admitted that he was the one who shot his son, which naturally raised the question, why would he do this? To find out, George was brought in for questioning, and unlike most suspects, he has no problem talking.
Yeah, like I said, I'm Detective Davis, if you didn't remember.
Yeah.
I didn't write your name down at first. I know your last name's Summers.
Yeah.
Wolf. Wolf's middle name, right?
Albert.
Albert Wolf Summers.
George Albert DeFleet Wolf Summers Jr. III.
Holy cow, say that one more time. Start with your first name.
George DeFleet.
How you spell that?
L-E-F-L-E-E.
L-E-F-L-E-E. Okay.
Summers Jr. III.
How can you be junior and third? How does that work?
Well, both my father's name was George. One was named me,
okay.
The second was named me the third.
Okay. Mr. Summers, what is your date of birth? Do you have a cell phone number? Or do you know it by heart?
Yeah.
All right, sir, and I read your Miranda rights when we were out on scene. They all still apply sitting in here. This is just a little bit more comfortable environment. We'll talk to you in here, and then we'll transport you down to the detention center. Are you currently under the influence of any alcohol or drugs?
Excuse me?
Are you under the influence of any alcohol or drugs currently?
I had 2 drinks today.
Okay, 2 drinks?
2 beers.
2 beers?
Mm-hmm.
Like regular canned beers or?
Canned beer.
Okay. What kind of beer you drink? Anything good?
Bud Ice.
Bud Ice. My man. Alright, so we kind of already went down through all of what happened. This is a formality. Can you just run me through the story one more time? Because you said start this morning until where we ended up today.
Let's start back 4 months.
Okay.
My wife's son, he got kicked out of his grandmother's house because it was so filthy. We walked in there a couple times, went to North Carolina, stayed in Charlotte with my daughter, and we came back from Charlotte last year, this time. And my wife asked me, could we go down and clean up in the basement where he lived.
At your house?
No. At her mother's house.
Okay.
At his grandmother's house. And it was so filthy, the whole family, and I don't know, I only got one person who would take my side on this, is her brother, Wayne. And it was so filthy that
I need you to walk me through when you went in your bedroom under the bed. I need you to walk me through that and how it was after the second time he sparked at you. What was how'd that transpire from you leaving that room to you going into your room?
Well, to be honest with you, to be perfectly honest with you, it wasn't calculated. It was just that because he worked for the cable company. Listen to me carefully now, because this is very important. He could turn my TV off. He's done it before, a couple of times before. When my TV's up, because he works with the cable company and he's on the phone all day. And if my TV is up too loud, listen to me carefully now. I'm being very honest with you. He can do some kind of switches or whatever he do. I don't know what it is. But he can turn my cable off. And I said, okay. Then I went in the power room. This was like 3 weeks ago. And I turned all the power off in his room because the power is downstairs. And then he was barking and crying to his mother, Darlene, about he can't do that because oh, this is my job, and this, that, and the other, and this, that, and the other. And I said, okay. So I turned the power back on. For a week, everything was fine. Then that's when the real problem started. Because we don't speak to each other, right? We walk by each other in the morning or whatever. Don't say good morning. This, that, and the other, you know.
Probably better that way.
Yeah. And so I kind of just left it alone. I just left it alone. And I said, okay, man, let's go with it. We don't speak to each other. Because he got a condition, which you will find out later on. He can't even open up a can of soda because of his condition. And he only can walk straight up. He cannot bend or any of that. He can't do any of that because of his condition. Now I respect that.
George just said something that's very important to understand. Sherrod may have been living with a condition that made everyday tasks incredibly difficult. Maintaining hygiene and keeping up with daily routines might not have been a matter of choice, but of limitation. Not because he didn't want to, because he couldn't. And George resented him for it, for something that may have been entirely outside of Sherrod's control.
And one night, this is very important, I told Darlene and him, I said, what they say, and I apologize for it. I will kill you and him if y'all push me. They laughed at it. Laughed at it, officer. It's okay. But I was drunk when I said it. I was drunk when I said it. And then I went to them and apologized for myself. I'm sorry for saying that, you know, just said, I was drinking alcohol, was talking, this, that, and the other. And then I told my wife, I said, we can't live in the same house. You cannot, I don't care what you say or how you say it or how you address it. You cannot have two kings living in the same house. You can't, because it's a problem. It's a problem. It's a problem. I did say that from what they say. And then I went to both of them and I apologized because alcohol was talking. It wasn't me talking, because I'm not the type of person.
Apparently you are.
I've been in the streets, seen people killed, murdered, witnessed all of that. Some murders I didn't even contest to. And knew it happened. I'm not a bad person, I don't think.
I don't think you're a bad person. I think you got pushed a little over the edge today.
Honestly, I just wish someone, somewhere would have listened.
And you were asking her.
You know, and regardless of what's happening, I'm 70 years old. Regardless of what's happening to me, you know, I had a good life. Got 6 children, 6 girls, 10 grandchildren. So, you know, and they're gonna miss me. Whatever happens to me, it doesn't even matter to me. You know, I mean, a lot of people worry about stuff like that. I don't worry about stuff like that. I can sleep. As long as I'm at peace with myself, I'm at peace. And they're talking to you right now. If you just move the car. He ain't got to move the car. You're my wife for 25 years. Tell your son who kicked out of your mother's house to move the car. He know I park the bridge up here every day. Just tell him to move the car. He can't find the keys. He can't find the keys. So I went into his room. I asked him politely, Can you please move your car to the apartment bridge up? And I told my wife, I said, can you please go downstairs and tell your son to move the car? They don't have to move the car. I said, Darlene, I've been parking there for 12 years in the same spot. Why don't he move the car? Why can't you ask him? That's your son, not mine. Because he's my stepson. Well, he don't have the right to move. Everything just changed all of a sudden. Went outside.
This word that nigga feelings was hurt, wasn't it?
Got me a beer. Sitting down, smoking a cigarette. Prayed, talked to God. Please don't let me do this. Please don't let me do this. And God answered me. So you don't have to do it. Just walk away. So that's when she opened the door and she said, he can be here as long as he wants to be here. Do what he want to do. I just felt disrespected. Went back inside. I said, I'm going down and talk to your son one more time. She said, well, go ahead and do it. Went down, asked him again, officer. I said, can you please move your car so I can pop my bridge up? He looked at me with a smirk on his face. Never said anything. Came back upstairs again. I said, your son won't move the car. She said, you don't have to move the car. How you gonna do this for the place I've been living for 25 years, parking the bread truck? And he won't do it. I just lost it.
George was anything but calm. According to Arlene, he had been yelling and threatening Sherrod to move his car. One witness later told a local news outlet that she saw about 5 officers trying to calm down an agitated man, presumably George, outside the home. It paints a clear picture of how out of control he was in those moments. And in the end, whatever the argument was about, whether it was about a parking space or built-up resentment, it cost a man.
I don't know, nigga kinda got a point, man. Move the fucking car. Shit, it's my house. What's wrong with it? Probably not. That's what I'm going to sleep.
Charles Stiles, Mystery Diners.
How you doing?
This is JR. He's a private investigator. He works with me.
Welcome to Lenny's Deli. 2 years ago, when the store was going under, I swooped in, took the store over, revamped the place. We're a full-service restaurant, bakery, and great Jewish deli.
Well, it sounds like you've done a great job bringing this restaurant back around, but a few days ago when we spoke on the phone, you indicated you had some concerns coming out of your bakery. Primarily your head baker, Brittany, I think is who you suggested was the biggest concern. Can you elaborate a little bit more on some of the specific issues and the challenges you're facing?
Yes. I'm hearing Brittany's rude, she doesn't get along with her coworkers, and she's taking creative licenses for cakes that she's making for customers. The bakery is a big revenue moneymaker for me. I can't afford to have anything go wrong in that department.
I'm fucking up. I'm turn off YouTube. God damn it. I'm going to strike.